You were the Word at the beginning.
Fáilte good news for Armagh. We're starting to look at the strands of evidence that God has left for us, the clues to his existence, the divine fingerprints upon this universe. C.S. Lewis said that if there was a God, that we should expect to find him in this cosmos, not like you would find an architect in the wall, but we should expect to find his personality and his design throughout the building. So we should expect to see clues to the existence of God in this universe. Let's look at the first and start at the start, or actually before the start. How did we all get here, and why is there something rather than nothing? Martin Heidegger, the great German philosopher, said that that is the question, the first of all questions. What started everything off? What is the first cause of all causes? Something is bound to have started the whole process. I mean, it couldn't have come from nothing, right? What about cause and effect? My knees hurt because I went to boot camp this morning and I'm nearly 40. Cause and effect. Things fall because of gravity. Elements come from the dying of stars. You're born not by yourself, but because of your parents. The tree moves because of the wind. Cause and effect. And so the universe, which is just a whole pile, a huge pile of dependent processes, would itself have to be dependent on some cause outside of itself, wouldn't it? Imagine a set of dominoes lined up all in a row, and you hit the first one, and the first one hits the second one, third one, and on it goes. It has a first cause, your finger. Something that starts the domino rolling, so to speak. And it can't be another domino. It must be something other than a domino because it can't move itself. It needs an outside input. This universe, if it has had a beginning, must have a first cause. An uncaused cause, or an unmoved mover, as Aquinas put it. Well, in the last 100 years or so, our scientific understanding has come to see a clear beginning to this universe. So what started the ball rolling? This is the first question of all questions. Could it have been God? Could there be a unique being that exists without cause, that did not spring out of nothing, who exists beyond time, that is the source of everything? This certainly could be God. But what really shocks me is that this kind of being needed both to start and maintain this universe is exactly the person that's described in the pages of the Bible. Whenever other cultures were thinking about the start of this cosmos, they thought about God's coming from the matter of the universe inside the loop. Or whenever other civilizations were talking about many gods, gods for the wind or the sun or the stars, the God of the Bible for millennia was saying, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. He, a single God, created the systems of wind and sun and stars. He is outside of it all. He is one being, and he existed before anything. Before any matter had existed, he created, and he created out of nothing. This is what's needed. And God throughout the Bible is said to be outside the system, outside of time and space, not bound by it. He is uncreated, eternal, powerful, and wise. And this is what we've got to take on board. How did these Hebrews, years ago, millennia ago, get it so right, so exact? And there seems to be a specific cause for this universe. There seems to be a divine finger to move the first domino. Now, if this is true, and if there is an uncaused cause, this means two things. Firstly, it means that this material universe is not all that there is. Secondly, this world has a purpose behind it, and this makes your life significant and valuable. And this makes sense, because without being arrogant or sounding arrogant, we all know this by intuition. The great stars and the quasars out there don't know that we exist, but we know that they do. And that for all of their power and their size, we are of more value than they. And so if there's a mind and purpose behind this universe, it means that your life has purpose. But the only way that you will ever know what that purpose is that you got to get to know the God who created us. Now listen, if this argument convinces you, that's great. If not, stick with us, because I'm a convinced Christian not because of one strain of evidence, but because of the many strains. See, as the amount of evidence builds. Now next time we're going to look at just after the start. So you can download the podcast or the e-article below to give you more detail. Hit the button to subscribe or to see the next video. But in the meantime, what did start everything going? This is the first and great question. Slán go fóill.